All right, that was Nate Ski. His song again, "Smile." He is our indie artist, music out loud spotlight of the show. And if you have if you want information about how to submit your request to be on the show, to submit your music on the show, just visit www.talkingoutloud.biz. Well, everybody, welcome back. And coming up next, we have Michael McCann, Dr. Michael McCann. He's best known as a motivational speaker, an author, as well as an entrepreneur, life coach, and spiritual teacher. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
It's been great. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
No, thank you. And, we talked earlier, Michael, and you're aware of what we're talking about today, how to turn your passion into a paycheck. And I wanted to end with you because we've talked to Shonda Brock. She's an ordinary person who's done extraordinary things. She was on our show 2 years ago, and just to see her growth is amazing. We have our segment contributor, Ms. Leslie Lane Peabody. She is going to be giving us weekly tips on business, social media, and networking. And I wanted to have you on the show because of who you are and what your books do. You have a book, How to Think Like a Millionaire. And I think that is important in turning your passion into a paycheck. Can you tell our audience more about you and your books and how to turn your passion into a paycheck?
Sure. My book, Think Like a Millionaire, talks about several things that happen. It gives advice, financial tips, and things that you could do to build your income. But it also talks a bit about my story. It talks about my dad. My dad suffered an unfortunate accident getting hit by a police car. He was dragged. He broke 2 legs. He had discs broken in his back. He had to have knee replacements, etc. And it took about 10 years before he received the settlement. In short, my dad became a millionaire because of his accident. Suing New York's finest. And it was a bittersweet situation, but because of my dad's lack of education and the ability to know what to do with that type of finance and trusting family members and other individuals, he actually lost all of that money.
Wow.
And it was an unfortunate thing to go through, but at the same time, I learned so many life lessons because I learned how to look at finances differently, also how to look at some of the hardships I experienced differently. One of the things that I gathered from that was how irresponsible we really are when it comes to finances and things of that nature. The whole keeping up with the Joneses syndrome and trying to do things because it's the trend, etc. And I was guilty of all of that, wasting everything that my dad did invest in me as an individual and just spending it on random things, clothing, going on trips and taking all my friends out to places and things of that nature. And when I look back in hindsight, had I really invested what I had the correct way, it could have been life-changing for me. And I'm in the process and on the road to recovering all of that now. Some of the tips that I talk about in that particular book are strategies and things that I'm working and doing in my own life to kind of reclaim what I've lost and start my life anew. So there's a gambit of tips and strategies that people can use that really work and that will be beneficial to any individual that's looking to change their financial status.
Wow, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And you're right. When we can get the money and become instant millionaires one way or another, but it's about managing the money. Would you not agree, Alfonso?
Yeah, I mean that. I was just listening to his to that situation that you were in, and that's an amazing, wow, situation. And to see that you stayed positive and you actually took and learned from it, and you applied it. Because it's one thing to go through it and learn from it, but you actually applied it and looked to where you are right now. That to me is amazing.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now, Michael, I know when we talked earlier, you told me that you believe that economic strength is the key to growing your business and being successful in life and setting up your own systems. We have just a few minutes left, and I know I just really enjoyed your story so much. I'm going to go ahead and ask you, is it a way that you can come back on our show one-on-one with A.L. Cooper and give us 30 minutes of more in-depth information about just your book, Think Like a Millionaire? It's such a powerful title. I know you're the author of Prayerology, and I'm thinking that combining the two with prayer and thinking like a millionaire and a lot of the biblical and current realistic principles that we embrace every day can truly transform our life. Will you commit to coming back on our show?
Of course.
Absolutely. But before we go, I want to give you can you give our audience, I know we've talked about managing your money properly, but just give us some more tips and more information about what would you advise someone? I know that you've had an amazing journey. You've gone from ordinary to extraordinary just in your life. I know you told me at 15 you had your own business. Is that correct?
Correct. I started off doing small things that most people don't really consider a skill or something noteworthy to use to make money. And truth be told, entrepreneurship starts with you as an individual, and it starts at home. There's things that you can do as simple as the day-to-day job skills that you use with information, navigating through systems, all of that administrative skill you can take and use as a consultant to other businesses, small business owners, and other emerging entrepreneurs, and that now becomes an extra income. I never recommend to anyone to just up and quit their job. The key to building more wealth is to create more streams of income. A second job is not going to do it because let's be realistic. You'll get a second job, but really you're trying to now compensate a lifestyle that you're used to. You're used to making a certain type of income. You're going to spend more of that income, realistically. Most people that are not that are pursuing a second job are pursuing it because they are trying to maintain a lifestyle that they are accustomed to and not go under that. So realistically, the one of the number one keys to creating more income and wealth would be to create more streams of income. And you can do that by turning something that you do into a service and you charge for it. You can do that by creating a product. If you are an individual that has an expertise, a wealth of knowledge in a certain area, you can turn your expertise into a product, such as writing a book, an ebook, creating an audio CD, a podcast, or doing workshops and seminars and becoming a public speaker. These are all ways to create more streams of income into your life. And my strongest suggestion would be to not just create these streams and then lavish out on them and spend them, but to create enough income where you're able to store some of that income as well as live comfortably, pay off your debts, etc., build your credit history. Credit history to anyone that owns a business. Once you get yourself out of the red tape into the clear, a lot of things become easier. There's more opportunities that open up to you, but you have to take force. You have to take responsibility for the state of your life and where you are with your finances, where you are with yourself mentally, physically, etc., and to create. You have the power to create the type of life that you really want to live.
Awesome.
Wow. Well, you know what, Michael, that was outstanding, and I love it. You know what? For more information or to hear more about Michael, he'll be on One-on-One with A.L. Cooper on December the 16th. But we have about 10 seconds left. Can you give them your website so that they can visit and learn more about who you are and all of the different services that you offer?
Sure. You can visit me on the web at michaelmccain.org. Again, that is michaelmccain.org. I also have a public figure page via Facebook under the title Michael McCain, as well as on Twitter at twitter.com, Dr. Michael McCain on Twitter.
Wow. Well, you know what? I'm just enjoying you. I can't wait to have you back on the show. Thank you so much for being on our show and celebrating our 4th year anniversary with us. It's very special, and we're glad to have had such our wonderful guests on, Shonda Brock of Design Plus Me, Leslie Lane Peabody, the Ninja in High Heels, and, of course, lastly, the Dr. Michael McCain, the author of Think Like a Millionaire. Once again, thank you so much for talking out loud, Alfonso. It's been a pleasure. This ride has been great, and I'm looking forward to another bright future for us on a long journey. For everyone, thank you for your support. Thank you for celebrating this wonderful event with us. Our special day, we'll be celebrating a whole month of December. So make sure you visit the website www.talkingoutloud.biz. To see our spotlight. If you're interested in submitting your music, visit the website, and we will definitely have you spotlighted on our shows. Until next time, we'll talk out loud with you later.
Talking out loud with A.L. Cooper. She's talking out loud, but she's saying something. She's talking out loud, but she's saying something. Talking out loud, but she's saying something. Talking out loud, but she's saying something. Politics, religion, fashion, people, passions, lifestyles, no topic too wild. She's talking out loud, but she's saying something. She's talking out loud, but she's saying something.